Dearest audience, my name is Simon Jakes. Allow me to tell you the story of some of my most esteemed and brightest students, William Thatcher and Dame Philippa. This story is lovely yet tragic. A love that lasted and ended with them apart yet together. A story that shows that love shines most when apart. This all took place in the 1930s, at Oxford University they met. This story portrays an enemies to lovers trope that showcased two lovers in a unique light. There was a very strong sense of rivalry between the two lovers that slowly progressed into blossoming love. William and Philippa were students who often competed against each other. Many times they have competed, but until now there was no clear victor. They butted heads for a very long time. William called Philippa that silly woman, whilst Philippa called William that arrogant man. Little did they know, their love would come to blossom like a field of flowers in spring. During a long vacation, William took an interest towards a girl named Ruby, while Philippa flirted with the Charleston and a young naval lieutenant from Dartmouth. But both never pursued the relationships, for there was a hidden love for each other that had yet to be realized. Then came a competition known as the Charles Oldham Essay on Shakespeare competition. I was William's and Philippa's mentor told them both that they should join. In true rivalry fashion, they both argued endlessly on who would win the competition. Everyone who joined already knew that the top two spots would be taken by them both, so they didn't put too much effort. Before the prize essay submission date was due, they both had to sit their final degree examinations. Philippa and William confronted the examination papers every morning and afternoon for 2 weeks with an appetite that bordered on the vulgar. It came as no surprise to anyone that they both achieved first-class degrees in the final honors school. Rumor spread around the university that the two rivals had been awarded alphas in every one of their 9 papers. As William confidently strolled through the park, his anticipation for winning the competition was abruptly tempered by the sight of Philippa under a tree, seemingly distressed. Approaching cautiously, he took a seat beside her. "What's the matter? Anything I can help with?" William inquired. Philippa looked up, covering her face with hands, and uttered words that disrupted the tranquility of the park. "My father, he's gone just this morning." Shocked, William listened as Philippa shared the recent loss of her father. Concerned, he asked about her mother, only to learn that she had passed away when Philippa was 3. Philippa revealed the sacrifices her father, a parish priest, made to send her to Oxford, even parting with the family silver. Her desire to win the Charles Oldham for him hung in the air. Attempting to console her, William dismissed her fears about winning. "Don't be absurd. When you win the prize, they'll pronounce you the star pupil of the decade. After all, you will have had to beat me to achieve the distinction," he assured. Curious about her father's demise, William learned of a silent battle with cancer, concealed to prevent Philippa from abandoning her studies. Contemplating the situation, William asked, "Where do you live?" Philippa, with a heaviness in her voice, mentioned Brokenhurst in Hampshire, where she was headed for her father's funeral. Offering support, William proposed, "May I take you?" Philippa, looking up and sensing an unusual softness in William's eyes, responded, "That would be kind, William." After lunch, they proceeded to the village of Brokenhurst. William's car came to an uncertain halt on the gravel outside the vicarage. An elderly maid opened the door, visibly surprised to find Miss Philippa accompanied by a man. Philippa introduced Annie to William and requested her to prepare the spare room. Annie greeted Philippa and William warmly, expressing her delight. "I'm so glad you've found yourself such a nice young man. Have you known him long?" she inquired. Philippa, smiling, replied, "No, we met for the first time yesterday." Philippa, accompanied by William, walked resolutely through the funeral proceedings. After the service, William escorted her back to the vicarage, which was filled with the many friends the parson had made. The somber atmosphere surrounded them as they navigated through the condolences and shared memories.
As they embarked on their journey back home, the two drove through the woods until their car came to an unexpected halt, having run out of fuel. Facing an unforeseen predicament, They decided to spend the night in the car, engaging in a playful but tense bickering session about the fuel mishap. With plans to catch the earliest bus in the morning, they settled in for an overnight stay. "You know, I only let the fuel run out for one reason," he declared. Philippa, giving him a perplexed look, inquired, "What is that?" Philippa asked, a mixture of surprise and curiosity in her tone. Unfazed, William replied, "What do you think, silly woman? I am asking you to marry me." Philippa, however, responded firmly, an invitation that I am going to decline. William persisted, throwing a hypothetical scenario into the mix. "What if I won the competition?" Philippa, with a touch of skepticism, agreed, knowing that it will never happen. "Sure. If you do not win, you shall never show your face around these parts."
On the day of the competition, the tension between William and Philippa was palpable as they stood in the marble-floored entrance hall of the examination schools. Surrounded by fellow students vying for the prize, their rivalry and an underlying tension were evident. "Good morning, Philippa. I do hope your efforts will manage to secure a place in the first six," William greeted with a competitive edge. "Thank you, William." In the examination school's hallway, alongside other anxious students, they awaited the chairman of the examiners. The atmosphere was tense when the chairman's voice echoed, announcing the inability to award the prize to one person. The students rushed forward to read the notice, leaving William and Philippa standing alone, aware the result was now beyond their control. A girl emerged from the crowd, rushing to Philippa with the news of her victory. Tears welled up in Philippa's eyes as she turned towards William. "May I add my congratulations? You obviously deserved the prize," she said, acknowledging his merit. "I wanted to say something to you on Saturday," William began, and Philippa reminded him of his earlier words about not showing her face if she lost. Their rivalry momentarily faded, replaced by a newfound understanding. Philippa realized William genuinely wanted her to win, and William saw Philippa not as a rival, but as someone he deeply cared about. In silence, they gazed at the notice board, revealing a shared victory. The examiners, unable to decide on a single winner, awarded the prize jointly. This shared triumph marked a turning point in their relationship, bringing them closer together as they began to see each other in a different light.
The Charles Oldham Memorial Prize, indecisive in its award, brought William and Philippa together as joint recipients. Beneath the notice board, amid the shared honor, they embraced, sparking rumors that they were rarely apart for long. A month later, their marriage took place in Philippa's family church.
William and Philippa were in their own home, and as per usual, Philippa was attempting to complete a crossword puzzle from the Times newspaper before William came to the breakfast table. This morning, however, she could not complete a word that had 8 boxes. William took over and wrote, "Wymuum." Philippa said that it wasn't an actual word and could not be found in the Oxford Dictionary. However, William refuted that this word existed in an OED that he was given upon becoming a scholar. With that, William left for college. Philippa suffered a heart attack shortly after. As she was dying, she called out William's name in vain. She was later discovered by a cleaning maid, who had called for help. The doctor announced that she had died, and he went to notify William. William was in his office muttering to himself, feeling smug as he found the page in the OED that stated, "Wymuum" was an actual word. William noticed that the doctor was there to see him. The doctor stood silently at the doorway, breaking the news to William, then leaving to allow William to sit with his grief in private. The news spread to William's colleagues quickly within that very hour. College lunch that day was silent, where William's absence was noticed. A light meal was brought up to William's office by the master and senior tutor. They knocked on William's door but no response was heard. When they opened the door, all they saw was William's lifeless body amongst a pool of his own blood. In his right hand he held a note, and the word was underlined. Wymuum. William had taken his own life, evident by the knife by his side. His suicide note stated as such, "Forgive me, but I had to let her know." Legend has it, they were never apart for more than a few hours, after all. Even death can never do them part.